Okay, so I will able to sort out the AC connection to work as I want it. Carburetor swapping single one, so I can run a test to see how both double barrel and single barrel behaves running with AC inside city for giving similar, no, giving same kilometer or distance and driving style. So now with this, when I got this car, I knew upfront that the car will not have thermostat. I was expecting, and when eventually when I got there, I observed that I didn't have thermostat. So I've always had the thermostat for this engine, which is 2.0 liter NS1A. So now I have the recommended opening temperature and lower opening temperature, which is not the recommended for this engine. So now this is the one recommended for it. You can see this is 82, look at it, 82 degrees Celsius. So 180 F. So that's the opening temperature. So this is the one that is supposed to be here. However, I changed when the car came, it came with two head gaskets, which is supposed to be only one. So, and then the thickness gasket for this engine is 1.6 millimeter, but I couldn't find 1.6. It appears what I saw was either 1.2 or 1.4. I don't actually have the gauge, but the meter for checking that gauge, but it didn't look thick enough. So I actually bought two of the gaskets. So the second one, I'll probably take it where they will gauge it for me to know the exact thickness. But I know I bought the 1.6 millimeter before. I was much thicker than this current one. So so right now it has the one gasket instead of the two. And since I don't trust the thickness, I'm not too comfortable putting the 82 degree Celsius opening temperature, knowing even though this is recommended, but I don't trust it that much. So I think I'm going to start with 75. So this one is no yeah, it's 75 degrees Celsius. Let's see it here. I don't know if you guys can see 75 is C. So I'll start with this and then observe while I confirm the head gasket thickness, because it wasn't written on the pack. And the brand, I checked it out. In fact, I didn't even see any brand on it on the pack. So I would rather be safe than sorry. So I'll be more comfortable running with 75C for now. Then if I observe it, I could decide to put 82C and see what happens later on. But let me see how it reacts on 75, which is a little bit lower than recommended, before I put this 82. But if the 75 works well, remember weather is now hot in Nigeria, especially here in Abuja. So if it's giving me 88 degrees Celsius to 90, I think I will stick with it until when I can get the head gasket. I'm very sure that is 1.6 millimeter. Then after I must swap it, and then I can now upgrade to the 82C. So it's better than running it without thermostat. So so this is I've removed it already. So when I removed it, I confirm what I always know. You can see the gasket that is supposed to, that was on the old thermostat they removed. So so this is how it sits in. But I think I'm going to put silicone gasket maker. I'm thinking I should. Don't know how smooth this surface is, so it's better I put it there just lightly. Even though I cleaned it up, but it's a little bit rough. But I'll just put light silicone gasket metal, not those one that will stick very hard. so that I can always easily remove it next time I remove the thermostat housing. Yeah. So next time I want to swap, because I wouldn't want to damage this rubber. Remember, you can't easily get this type of rubber because it has something is kind of unique for this head gasket. So for this thermostat, I will try and see if I can buy more of this. If possible, next time I'll order stuff online. If I see a thermostat that comes with this, I might even buy. Or if I see only the rubber, this, because it must have this thing here, otherwise it's going to give me overheating issue, because this space is supposed to be covered. Yeah, so we'll see. If I see one that doesn't have this, look at the reason why I'm saying this is so I'll be able to cover the entire thing. Now we'll see, it's possible that you can put one without that thing that comes out and it will stay. Oh no, it must. Remember, this is the thermostat. It has that design, unless you have to file it out. That is the only way it can actually work without this thing outside. You file out this thing and then put another seal on it, then you can be able to see that place. Yeah, I think you can, without necessary, so this space will no longer be in use. Okay, so I'll start by adding silicone gasket later. This is what I mean. And then I just call it back up. So this one I'm going to add and then put it back. So I'm not gonna risk it again. Remember what happened while I was trying to do the radiator? Funny enough, I left it, because you can see now I'm doing I've removed the thermostat housing. So I've done left it. After I'm done with this, then I'll connect that one properly. But the camera is still okay. That was actually in the previous video for those who didn't know. So while I was trying to fix the leakage on this coolant line on the carburetor, so I dropped this remote camera. This is a remote control, not remote camera, remote control I used to observe what I'm capturing. So I kept it here on the battery. While I was doing this arc, I used two hands. Then the engine was running, it was just shooting, boom! It fell on the, I don't know where exactly, but on the compressor, and then the belt spinned it and damaged. There's a belt here. You can even see the wound. Gave it a big wound. But it's still working. That's one good thing about Sony. You can see. Very strong. So it's serving its purpose anyway. Just like it has a belt here where if I want I can wear it on my wrist. But you can't serve that purpose. I can't even find the pieces of it, because I knew he shredded it or something and I didn't see it. I looked under. I don't know where he fell into when he cut it off from the remote control. Anyway, let's take my time to find it. So let's see. Alright. Yeah, so as you can see, I've already dropped in the thermostat on the water pump housing. So what's really nice for me to cover it. This should actually be the thermostat. I don't even know which one to call thermostat housing. Is it, because this should be, unless maybe this water pump and thermostat housing together, and then this thermostat housing cover. So maybe you leave it at that. So cover it like this. Then I get the bolt and okay. So there's another one here. So I'm going to drop the camera so I can tighten the bolt and then pour water. This is the bleed point. Bleed it from here, and that's it. Then when I drive the car with the AC hot afternoon, then I observe the temperature gauge. So far before now, the maximum he has ever gotten, I think, like 75 degrees Celsius or so. Before when he had the double or stack head gasket or double head gasket, I don't think it has ever gotten beyond 72 degrees Celsius temperature gauge on the instrument panel. Then when I put the single head gasket, it came up to about 75. I think that's the time I got to 77. I was at traffic light for a while with the AC running. Then it came up, got to like maybe um, 80. Let's just say maybe 80, 80 something. Then when I started moving, it dropped down again to 72, 74. So because without the thermostat, it will be frustrating. But now with thermostat, it's going to be um, constant once the engine warms up. So we'll see where it is going to show us at 12th afternoon with AC, both when in motion and while at traffic light. So right now I'm going to run it with water first. I'm not going to put coolant. So see until I know there's no leakage, and actually there might not be need for me to, for example, I might try this, and if it start overheating, that means the head gasket cannot handle thermostat. Of course, I'll remove it and run it without thermostat, depending when I can get the gasket, single gasket that can actually serve, which is 1.6 instead of the thinner one. Of course, another option is to put back the two head gasket, but honestly, I know the implication. It just, you lose some power. It's just not the best. So I would rather take my time, keep running it with this until I can find it much thicker head gasket, which is 1.6 minimum, 1.6 millimeter minimum thickness, so that the engine can now run with the recommended thermostat, which is 82 degrees Celsius opening temperature. Okay, so let me get to tight this so that I won't and keep the camera, get water, and do the breathing. Alright. So, I've mounted the thermostat, tight everything. So now it's for me to breathe. So I put this, cut this plastic water, plastic bottle, whatever it's called. So I fixed here, but not properly. I didn't seal it properly anyway, but at least it's a start. However, you can actually, the right way is to remove this, what's it called? You pull this coolant reservoir, raise it up. So while you are pouring this thing, but man, it's the time, because I have to remove some things there to access it properly. So I've used this method before and it was able to serve. However, after I'm done here, I need to be sure that that place is not overflowing, it didn't go beyond maximum, so that I can reduce the quantity. Okay, so let me start by loosening the bleeding point. Let me leave it halfway. Okay, let me move completely there. So always bleed this thing, otherwise you will have air in the system. Alright. So not much water fill that anyway. Remember, it's only here that I remove, so I'm not expecting to have okay. Let's see. Let's put down a little. I can close it. Okay. Alright. Kinda hot a little because the engine ran for a while before I put it off. Let me open it up to see where the level is. Okay, it's normal. It's within the minimum and maximum, so that's okay. I don't need to reduce the quantity on the coolant reservoir, water reservoir, whatever I want to call it. So just get it here. Okay, so it's still going to flow out anyway. So this is a coolant levels sensor. But one thing I noticed about this 505, even when the water level is okay, to still be reading that if there is no water in the system or coolant in the system, so you always get a warning on the instrument panel. Alright, so so keep it here. Here. Okay. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to this is the one they removed and broke. So probably may have to look for another one like it. I always want to have this. What I'll do, I'll use the 82 degrees Celsius one to look for this is it gasket? I'll call it gasket or say anyone. If I find it and realize that if I find anyone that can fit in well but it doesn't have this thing that popped out, I'm going to file out that iron on the thermostat housing so that I can use it. I don't think it necessarily must have this thing, because I look at that housing here where the thermostat sits. You can actually block that place. It doesn't need to. You can do without that thing coming out. Okay, so let's start the car. Oh, let me keep this thing here so that it doesn't jump into the engine bay again. Okay, so though the best time to test the coolant is actually in motion, but we'll see. But I'll start the car, run it to be sure the thermostat opens. So, and then I will show you guys here where it is when the thermostat opens. Okay. Okay. You can see it's still showing me that there was no water in the radiator or the system, even though you guys could see it filled it up. So that's how that sensor usually behaves. So we don't really use it we don't work with it. So anyway, so what I'll do is I'm not going to leave the camera on until thermostat opens, because that will take a while. But the weather is hot though. So what I'm going to do is I'll switch off the engine so that once it opens, first thing first, this one will become hotter first. It will be hot while this one stays cold. Then when the thermostat opens, this one will stay hot. It will become hot. In fact, both of them will now stay hot. So I'm going to switch off the camera while I wait. Okay. Yeah, while I was waiting for the thermostat to open, I now saw water here coming down from here. Saw it also here on the chassis. So when I looked, I now saw it's coming down from this side of the cover under. So remember I said that I suspected that either the surface of this thing might not be smooth anymore, or the rubber, that rubber or gasket on the thermostat has flattened up a little. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove it again, apply silicone gasket maker, and then I won't put it in immediately. I'll leave it for a while to bond so that it will be a little bit harder before I put this thing in, so that when you press in, you'll be able to act as rubber there. Okay, so I'm going to remove this thing again and start all over the thermostat housing cover. Alright. So I've removed the thermostat, put more silicone gasket maker, and then waited a little bit and then put it back. Start it. As you can see, it's running for about 5 minutes now or more. And yeah, this one is very hot now. And yeah, likewise the lower one. So both the thermostat are open. So let's see the temperature gauge. So it's actually accurate, as you can see. It's about 75 degrees Celsius or a little bit more. So this is the temperature gauge. So as you can see, here it is. So it's accurate. So right now what that means is until I now put it to a test by putting on one emotion, put on the AC, drive it within the city. Not necessarily highway will not make it to go overheat most of the time if there's an issue, if the incompatibility issue between the thermostat and the head gasket that I put. It will show itself within the city. But since I put this single barrel gasket, so I intend to use it for the city drive for the next few days and see how it operates. So if it goes above 90, start heading to 100, that means the gasket cannot handle thermostat. So in that case, I will now again choose the option, 3 options, look for the recommended head gasket thickness, which is 1.6 millimeter. Put and then put the 82 degrees Celsius, which is recommended, or I put the 2 double gasket, make it double gasket again, which will now be over, which should kind of make it like 2.4 millimeter or thereabout. So it will be more than that. In that case, if you put the 82 degrees Celsius thermostat, it's going to handle it. Or I'll remove the thermostat and keep running the car without thermostat with a thinner head gasket, pending when I can find the head gasket that is thick enough for the engine, which is recommended. Remember when the car came, there was no thermostat and there were 2 double gaskets on the cylinder head. So the temperature gauge hardly, in fact, you just stay at 70 degrees Celsius, sometimes a little bit more. It has never at idle, it has never gotten to this point at idle. But you can see thermostat is there now, so it now regulates, which is very good for the engine and the fuel consumption as well. So yeah, so I think so one more thing I'm going to do is to put to see the RPM. This my tachometer is not working very well. It's not working very well. You can see if you accelerate it, you just move selector, and that's the maximum it will go. So I have another tachometer I will connect outside. See, that one too has partial problem, but at least it will give you the accurate RPM. So that when you accelerate it, it will go. I think it works. Let me try. It's been long. It's been years I used it. I changed it. Remove it from the 505 V6. So. But this RPM seems okay because even with AC, it doesn't, engine doesn't. Okay, you can see it drops down. So I probably may have to increase it a little. You can see immediately I did it, the pressure, oil pressure light popped on. Immediately I put on the compressor. So, but we'll see. So let's put the tachometer outside and see what happens.